it's so hard to let go?
Why do
Do you have
founders
thoughts on
hang
that?
on? Yeah, yeah. What is it? What do founders hang on to too long?
Yeah.
Um, Mostly
Why
everything
does
they
it?
did. Yeah. Here's why I think they hang on to mostly everything they did that got them to this point. What do you think?
Okay, so what you're saying is like a salesperson, if they were a salesperson at some point and they did all the sales, they hold on to it. Is that what you mean by that?
Well, I think that's one answer. But let's say, for example, from a founder,
Hmm.
a true founder, they were, if it was a remodeling business, if it was a landscaping business, I'm like kind of choosing some smaller business options that came into my mind
Yeah.
from the last week, for example. And they started the business, like that's the one thing they're really good at. They're experts and they're passionate about it, right?
Yeah.
Could be an accountant, could be well, whatever. They've started this. I'm talking about services firms, but basically they had to
Yeah.
do everything in the business just to get it to where it is. Because generally, they, as a founder, they start off from where they are, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And I think also, a big part of it is they continue because they think that they know everything and that they
Yep.
did everything along the way. They become the escalation point and they hang on to that. So instead
Oh
of
yeah.
letting letting other people decide things, they let everything go through them still, and they hold on to that.
So yeah. So the question is, why is that? Why do they do that?
Yeah, so I think that a lot of the reason that they do that is because they think that they're the only one that sees the whole picture and they can
Mm-hmm.
make faster decisions because they see that whole picture. Um, Sometimes it just feels faster to make those decisions.
Uh-huh.
And so instead of letting other people do it, and then probably the real reason is that rather than it being process or anything like that, it's a trust problem. They don't always trust the rest to
Oh.
make the
Okay.
decisions.
Trust. We have talked. I've probably talked about this before. It's a big one, though, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's huge
So why don't they trust?
because they don't let them try. So they don't let them see. They don't let them
Mm,
prove that they can do it. And I mean, sometimes,
what?
who
So
knows?
you're
Like, there's
saying,
a billion reasons, right? Like, but the one
right.
that's the one that's easy to let go of, or not easy to let go of, but the one that we can help let go of is having people accountable for things and letting them do it and showing that they can do it.
So when you say we, what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, coaches. I
Oh,
mean,
got it. Okay. Yeah.
right, like helping. We can help people to put um, to share all of those things that we talked about, right? Like, so talking about the whole picture and making sure that the communication is in place and that teams see where they're going and that there's
Okay.
accountability for pieces and that, and all of the pieces that allow you to sort of let go or to
Mm-hmm.
allow other people to grab onto stuff.
Got it. So if I'm internalizing that, then
Mm,
we're saying as coaches, what we do is help founders who, and here's my famous founder quote that just still sticks in my head is, this, there's 120 people in my company, and I can do every one of their jobs 1,000 times better than they can.
mm,
That to me is that typical founder mentality. So, what's the cure for that? Establishing a strong vision and a plan to go along with that vision, right?
yeah.
Communicating it really well, making sure that every employee, all the team members, especially the leaders at the top or the leaders, right, um, have buy-in to it, which our process that we coach with is ensuring that those leaders are part of the process, part of building that vision. It's not like
Absolutely.
the tablets
Yeah.
handed down from on high, or,
Yeah. No.
or the gold plates. If you're talking to Rob,
No, it doesn't work that way, right?
no, it doesn't. Well, not in most businesses. It doesn't. I haven't seen them.
I haven't seen it
And
work like that.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So then establishing roles. what are the roles, right? And what are the unique accountabilities? Having a document for that we call a scorecard, which is a simple document, right? 3 to 5
Hmm.
that has measurable, that we can measure success for those.
Yep. Yep.
Meaning the person who holds the role, who's in the role, and so it allows that founder leader to hold those people accountable to that scorecard. And so it's also can establish boundaries.
It's funny how everything goes back to scorecards, eh?
100%. I had a founder ask
And
me,
people,
go ahead.
right? Like,
Yeah.
if the right people aren't owning that
most people.
scorecard, there's no way that we're gonna get there.
Right. I think that's why there's this current buzz around what's going to be the first $1 billion company with no employees, just the founder. And all these agents. Although I would tell you that goes back to, which it usually does, and I want to check me on this one too. It's like usually many founders like, well, this thing or that. I'm going to point this thing or that person, versus it's usually this thing and this person.
Yeah, right. And it's hard. You've built a company.
Mm-hmm.
You've gotten so far.
Yeah.
Right. Everything seems to be really smooth because it's all in your head.
Uh-huh.
And then you're trusting a whole bunch of strangers to pick it up and move forward.
Oh.
Right.
A whole bunch of strangers. Maybe that's why we don't.
That's
why founders don't trust them.
Well, they might be at the beginning, right?
Okay. All right. So, because you said earlier, it's because founders don't trust their employees. They don't trust their team.
And we have to take that trust back, right? Like I'm not saying that, they're not trustworthy. I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying it like they're handing over, something that they've worked really hard at. And it's, and it's not because, like you said, they can do it 1,000 times better, right? That's what you said. They can do every piece 1,000 times better.
They think they can.
They think they can.
The founders think they can. Yeah,
the founders think they can, right? So what they have to trust is that maybe they can, and maybe they can't. But either way, they have to let somebody else try. And see what happens for it, right? And as we always say, right, letting somebody else do it 80% as well is way better than holding on to everything yourself.
Absolutely. I was reminded that this week. So I had a founder, a service for our home, and one specific need I had, and the founder reached out to them, and the founder was going to come and talk to me and give me a quote for that service on our home. It took 6 weeks because I had to wait for the founder. And if I wasn't already predisposed to using this company, I certainly would have moved on because I needed this service. I had a pain for it 6 weeks ago. But I waited. And almost part of it was like a bit of an experiment just to see how this was going to pan out. So the founder showed up and was an expert on the subject. I mean, knew everything, had written a book on it that they left with me. And but I got to tell you what, it was a short, we maybe talked for 12 minutes. I said I was interested in that service, and but then I was reading this book that they left for me afterwards, and I really discovered, wow, they could do about 12 other services for us that I would think would be really valuable. I would love to talk to him more about it. But I was kind of almost intimidated by him because he just seemed very direct. Okay, here's the thing, we're gonna do this, and I'll send you a quote. And then he left. And I thought, thinking, it's like, wow, had that been a salesperson, what would they have done?
They would have sold you on those 12 other things. You would have.
I bet they would have, because I bet they would have asked a lot more questions. I bet they would have looked around and said, well, so what about this? What about that? Can I take a look at that? What do you think about this? And had they engaged me in that, absolutely, Mayor, I bet I would have let's buy the comprehensive package and, do like doom. And so that was one where Sure Wildlife Founder has successful business, they're probably one of the maybe one of the, what is it, the 96% of all businesses, at least in America, that never really get past that foundational phase, that kind of mom and pop founder led business, which is less than a
So
couple million in revenue.
is the founder coming back to do the work?
That is a really good question. I don't think so. I think he did say he has people. They have people working. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to wait and see what that looks like. How are you going to deal with the other 12 things that you now realize you have to get done that they can do?
That is a really good question.
Are you going to go somewhere else, or are you going to go to them?
I think some things I might go somewhere else. But the interesting, Mayor, I looked on their website. They do like this whole segment of work, and they also do this whole other segment of work. And I'm just like, why do you even do that? Like, you can't be an expert over here. No. And I think we see a lot of people that, okay, well, they want to grow, so they think they need to diversify, so they need to offer more services. They obviously haven't read Brad Giles' book, which is
I don't remember what the new one's called. I'm looking around my desk. Remind me.
I have a
Bigger
horrible.
Is better?
Yeah, better is better. I'd say it in an Australian accent, but I've been made fun of a lot because they said it sounds like a. Yeah, don't do that. You know my accents.
Don't do that.
Okay. So what would you recommend? And actually, this is going to be interesting because I'm talking to a founder of a remodeling company. I think they're around, maybe they're sub 10 million, maybe getting close to that. I'm going to be on his, I guess I don't know that for a fact though. But I think it's a good sized remodeling company, but he's a founder, one of the founders. I'm going to be on his live. I think it's a LinkedIn live too. And I'm going to ask him these questions, but let's come back to us or you or our experience. What's the first step? So what do you think the first step that it's someone who's a founder, and let's say they've had success, but now they're kind of stuck, right? They're at this thing because they're still the master of their domain. But they say, I want to grow.
I think the first step is really figuring out what they're still doing, what they're still holding on to, what decisions they're still making, and who should be making them instead. That's the first step, right? They need to figure out,
how do they do
really scorecards. We're back to scorecards.
Okay. And what's a scorecard again?
A scorecard is the functional role description is the best I can say. So we break it down. We say, what the function is, why the function exists.
So the mission and
purpose, what the accountabilities are for that role. So those are the outcomes, it's not a task list, it's not a job description, but what are the outcomes that we expect from from that role.
Yep.
And competencies. So the competency, what should people be good at in this role? And core values, which core values lead back to everything.
Right. How we do things, how we conduct ourselves in this business. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in the instance of, let's say this founder who I talked to last week.
Showed up at your house,
Showed up at my house and just showed up. Hopefully he's listening, or maybe he's not. Hopefully he's not. Hopefully anybody's listening, frankly. So if not, it's just a good conversation.
Because it's early here, yeah.
Oh, it's early there. It's not. Yeah, it's kind of early-ish here. Did you have coffee before we started? All right, cool. So, okay. All right. So let's go back to a salesperson for this founder. If he realized this, or he talked to me and he said, wow, yeah, I should probably, hire a salesperson. What would that salesperson scorecard look like, in your opinion? Just rough.
What do you mean? What would it look like? What would their accountabilities be? What do you mean? What would it
look like? Tell me. Okay, here's a scorecard. Like, read it to me. Like, if you're trying to help this founder.
So we'd have purpose would be something along the lines of revenue generation for the company, right? Like salesperson owns revenue.
Yep.
There's that. Oh, we forgot metrics in the scorecard.
You did, yeah. I didn't know if you had wrapped them in the outcomes, but okay. Anyway,
Yeah, we could. And then we'd have accountabilities. So they own the closed deals, right?
okay, close
Something
deals.
like closed deals.
Yeah,
And that could be a metric too, right?
yeah,
So really what we need to do is we're going to set up the scorecard, but then we need to measure it. We need to figure out how we're measuring each piece of
yeah.
it,
What does
right? And
success look
figure
like?
out, yeah, and
Yeah.
then see if the people in those roles are measuring up, right?
Hmm. Yeah. So if I'm a salesperson, those metrics can tell me. I mean, the accountabilities help guide what I'm supposed to be doing,
Mhm,
and right. And so I'm supposed to be closing sales for the company.
mhm.
Metrics could be well, need to respond to inbound leads within 1 hour.
Yeah,
I don't
could
know.
be. Or, how
Could be.
many outgoing calls you make. If it's like, we don't know what kind of business we're talking about here, right? So depending
Yeah.
on the business, right, that
Yeah.
those different. We need to make
Hmm.
sure there's the leading metrics so we understand, the work that they're actually doing to get there and be
Yeah.
able to make
The
changes quickly,
Yep. Yeah, the
right?
activities, that's what I think about. It's like, what are those leading activities? I
Yeah.
always think about what we call a key function flow map, like a level 2 for sales. Just
Yeah.
break it down and yeah.
Yeah. So what are those things that they're doing to close the sales? And then
Okay.
the closed sales is the lagging one, which matters, obviously, right? But the leading ones are the one
Yeah.
are what we do to make sure we're on track to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's just say, for example, because this is my example. This is like respond to leads within 1 hour. Meet with prospective clients within 2 weeks. Engage in 6 client visitations per day, quotes, or and yeah, and then close at minimum 30% to achieve revenue of $2 million in 2026.
Okay, so your close 30% is a conversion rate, is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say if I said, hey, I want to sign up for this role, and this owner said, okay, Glenn, here's what I need you to do. It's pretty clear what success looks like for me, right?
Absolutely.
And really,
And
do I need? Oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, and that's purpose for the scorecard, right? Like, so it's not a way of, I mean, we do use it to do reviews and to check in on how people are doing and a
Yeah,
way for us to measure things. But more importantly, it's for the person in that role to be able to look at it and walk away at the end of the day and be like, I did a great job today,
I nailed it today.
right? I
Yeah,
want, yeah. And
yeah,
and that's what we want. We want people to own what they own
yep,
and be able to know, not that we don't want to tell people they're doing a great job, but we want them to know that they're doing a great job without having to
yeah,
be told,
yeah, yeah.
right?
I don't have to sit around and go, I don't know if I'm doing a good job today or not because my boss happened to walk in crabby because he spilled coffee on himself on the way to work.
Yeah, yeah, it's a terrible way to it's a terrible way to go to work, right? Like it's
Yeah,
just yeah.
that's how many of us judge our success in our role, though. Is like, oh, wow, he was really nice to me this morning. They must really think I'm doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's okay. So let's say, for example, that was my scorecard as this, salesperson. And if I nail that and I live the core values for this company, whatever they may be, um, I'm an A player, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if
Right.
I'm truly an A player, how do I look at those? How do I look at those metrics?
I don't know what you mean by
Oh,
that. How do I look
oh,
at it? I look at it.
well, I know leading. I'm like, I'm gonna beat that.
Yeah. And absolutely, right? And we're also figuring out um and this is where accountabilities aren't a task list, right? And this is why it's not a task list, because we're
Yes.
figuring out ways to get those outcomes in an easier, faster way
Hmm.
than maybe what was
Yeah.
done beforehand, right? And
Yeah.
those accountabilities are, it's what we need to come out of that role. It's not how we need to do it. And an A player is going to figure out the best way to get there. And it might not
Yes.
be, going back to the founder, it might not be the way the founder has done it for the last however many years. It might be
Yep.
different, and we
Yep.
have to let them do it in a different way.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
For example, in the sales role, the founder may have always, well, we always answer, we answer the phone, right? So, okay, answer those, respond to those voicemails or people who are calling in for business. Let's say, for example, salesperson, I'm like, well, I'm gonna build a chat bot using AI, and I'm gonna fill in I'm gonna create a database for the chat bot. I'm gonna take that book the owner wrote, and I'm gonna upload that and create a chat bot that can answer questions, so that I'm gonna respond. The chatbot will now respond in 30 seconds
Immediately. Yeah.
to any inquiries, and AI will send me a
Schedule it.
text. Yeah, and it will schedule it or send them a link so that they can schedule it. So I most efficiently on my schedule. And then, there's just so many ways that I could start thinking that the way the founder got here, he didn't have AI. He didn't think about these things. It's
like in
always worked for his
technology,
business.
it's a really good point, right? Like technology is
Yeah.
changing so quickly that everybody needs to be looking at how to add that in and how to make
Yeah.
processes smoother and faster and all of it's a lot, but like things change on a daily. Like I saw this morning that Claude, whatever their agentic thing is called now, is has been added to Slack.
Yeah,
So
I saw that.
teams can use Claude agentic to assign roles while they're talking.
The Claude. Yeah, you can just like add
Yeah.
Claude, right? Yeah, I
Yeah,
did see it too.
you can
That's in
say,
the
"Hey, do
Superhuman
this," yeah.
newsletter, right?
I
It's a
don't
great
know if it was
newsletter.
that one or it was either that one or the rundown. I don't know which one, but
Oh, I don't read
yeah.
the rundown. I'll check that one out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
Okay.
it's insane.
All right. So number one for the founder is build scorecards.
Build scorecards, believe in the scorecards, and let the team try, right? Like let them do it and stop answering everything. Like that's your big thing, right? Like how many questions did you ask versus how many answers did you give?
Yeah.
Right? We don't just answer things. Let the team think, let them build things and let them try.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Sarah, our marketing person, told me that I've said that on every single one of these LinkedIn lives we've done so far.
There you go.
Like, that's because it's good, and most people don't do it. I don't know any CEO that does it, frankly.
What measures that?
Measures it, or if they do, I think I told a story last week about a CEO who did measure it, started measuring it in a meeting, and then gave up because they had 4 questions and uncountable number of statements, basically questions they had answered or statements they had made. I always cringe. I cringe in sessions when the CEO says, "Well, here's what you need to do. Well, here's what you need to tell them. Here's what you should do." I say it all the frickin' time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Ask. What do you recommend is the question you should be asking most often.
Yeah.
Until people come to you with recommendations. And unless the recommendation is truly awful, let them try.
Well, okay. So what if I say, well, Mayor, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Well, what would you recommend? You don't have to know.
I don't know.
You have to come up with.
I don't know. I have any idea. So I'm playing the role. I'm used to you telling me what to do. So now you tell me, well, what do I recommend?
I need you to go away. I need you to go away. Think about it. Think about what the client would like and come back to me with a recommendation is what I need. And we'll discuss the recommendation. You don't have to make the final call right now, but you need to come back with an idea.
Really? Well,
yes.
it's kind of a rush. I think I kind of need to do this quickly. Can't you just give me the answer right now?
No, we have to let people think. We can't just give them the answer every time, because the more you do that, and what happens is that every time you answer a question like that and give it to them, it's training them to come to you and ask a question. And it might take longer, and it might be hard at first, but unless we do that, and if that person never comes with
Yeah.
recommendations, it's not the right person in the role. Simple.
Good.
And I
Good one.
say simple, but it's not simple, but that's the truth.
Well, Mara, can't you just, oh, come on, Mara, just tell me what to do. Cause then then if it fails, I can just say, well, I don't know. Mara just this is what you told me to do. I was just using your idea.
Yeah, exactly. That's
And then if somebody asks
yeah.
me like, Glenn, why are you doing that? Oh, because Mara told me to. Or I go to someone else and said, Mara said that we need to do this thing.
Yeah, that's not accountability, right? Like that's not taking accountability for anything.
Mm-hmm.
And if they've signed on for the role and they're accountable for things, that should never make it to the CEO or founder.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not even something that should get to them.
Yeah. So then
If you own it, it's yours.
Yeah, right. And then so let's play the scenario like the next day, and you say, "Hey, Glenn, did you come up with a recommendation for that? The question you asked me? Oh,
Yeah.
never mind. I figured it out." How many times does that
Yeah.
happen? If one doesn't.
Yeah.
Or if
Which
the
is
founder's not
perfect, right?
available.
Like,
Yeah, right.
yeah, that's the other thing, right? Like we've lived through that. If I don't have time to respond to you in whatever time frame you give, go ahead.
Yeah.
Because you can't wait
I love
forever,
that one.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Hey,
this is what
Mara,
yeah.
I sent you that thing like days ago. I can't do my
I'm
job
waiting for
because
you.
I'm waiting for your approval.
Yeah, just do it. Go for it.
Yeah. No, I love
Right?
that.
Like,
It's
and that's where we have to, like, if we're waiting on a founder or a CEO
well,
or
what if it's
whatever
not right? What if it's not right?
well, we'll deal with it. Right? Like,
Am I gonna get fired?
no, you're not going to get fired for making a mistake.
Well, it's the third time I made it.
If it's the same mistake, then maybe.
We're gonna have to talk about that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So scorecards, stop answering questions.
Yeah.
I think that's good enough for today.
All right.
I'd also add on scorecards because I think this is never, ever hire anyone
without a scorecard.
Okay. So now I got to bring this up. So I had a founder ask me, well, is it always about the people? Aren't there other problems? Do they always start with the people?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that it's a bad person or even that they're a bad worker. No. It just means it's the wrong person in the wrong role is what it means.
And I agree. And I also add at this point in time, because a person in a role for $1 million company, hey, we had a bookkeeper who was, great for us when we were $1 million company.
And we put her
now we're a $10 million company, and so we promoted them, and now they're a CFO.
Yeah.
It might not, right?
It might not work right away.
$100 million company, and they're the CFO, and they were, right?
Yeah.
But Mara, everybody loves them. They've been here for 18 years. They're just the nicest person.
And they might be able to get there, but they probably don't have the leadership skills to be a CFO. They probably don't have the understanding of what it means to really strategize for a $100 million company. Like there's a bunch of things, right? It doesn't mean that they can't get there. They might be the right person, just not right now.
Yeah. Agree. Those are tough decisions. So you're I think you said before, it's not complicated, but it is difficult.
Yeah. Especially with people. And that's why it's difficult, right? Because we like our people.
Yeah. Why not?
Those are hard decisions to make. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a good conversation for today. But this sets me up well for my next LinkedIn Live or whatever I'm going to be on with Dave. All right. Thanks, Mara. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Talk to you later. Bye.